Hello, this is Pat Walker at MissionWinners.com. I'm doing a training coaching video here. A lot of people, they'll talk about stocks after the fact, and that's good, but sometimes it's better to slide the chart back so you can experience the emotions and the decision-making process as it's happening. It's a great study in what do you feel at the time. And again, it's easy to look back at hindsight and say, well, this is what I would do. Well, this is what I would do. Well, let's go back. And I did that with this chart, INMD. Now, I got to tell you right up front, this was on the key list. We bought this. VIPs bought this. Have to clarify, this stock was in a leading group when it was doing this, and last quarter's earnings were up 109%. Last quarter sales were up 55%. So it meets the criteria of either great earnings or great sales. You don't need both, but one or the other. And it has nice price volume relationships. Now here's a good telltale sign. It's going sideways, but look at the volume pickup this day. Look at where it gaps up and it runs up and it closes near the highs of the day on a pickup in volume. That is a trigger stating, hey, maybe this thing's going to push through this simple line right here. So what we did was we drew that line. We said if it takes out the highs of this bar, we'll buy some. So let's advance it. And it gaps up right here and starts to run on heavy volume, and we buy the stock. We buy it. You say, oh, do you buy it up here? No, when it's going, we buy. So we're in it. It advances. Everything's great. Volume's decent. It starts to fall right here, all right? Could a person on this little lift maybe take a little bit off? You're up over 10%. Sure, you could if you want to. One thing's for sure, though, if it starts to lose the 8-day, you're going to probably take the rest out. Why? Because you're not going to let a 3-point, almost 4-point profit turn into a loss on a frickin' $23 stock. Don't do that. So then it lifts up again, and everything is great on a pickup in volume. Notice how the 8 EMA is hugging up. And inside day, everything's all right. Now, could you sell a little bit into strength? Yes. Why? Two reasons why. A, the market's not acting that great. And B, okay, and I have to tell you this, the market's not acting great, and you're seeing this is a shorter base. Shorter base breakouts have a higher failure rate, so you manage accordingly. It goes up on a slight pickup in volume. That's good to see. Everything's great. An inside bar on less volume, constructive, starts to pick up again on a pickup in volume. Everything is fine. Drops a bit, but on less volume. You can see the 8-day here, though. Hugging the 8-day. Comes down to the 8-day, but on low volume. But now we say if it takes out the lows of this bar, it's doing two things. It's A, taking out the lows of this bar, and B, it's falling below the 8-day. An inside day. No panic. Wait. Drops. But it's still above the line. Oh, falls through the line on a pickup in volume. What's our reaction? You sell some more. That's all. By the way, in this whole move, we didn't look at any 5-minute charts the whole time. I don't even think we looked at 10-minute charts. You don't need to. I don't think, maybe we looked at 30-minute and hourly, but overall, we're letting price action and volume action on the daily guide us. An inside day, but on low volume. Runs up, closes down on a slight pickup in volume. See that? We've got a line here now. We want to support this line. Look, you've got a low here and a low here. Oh, gaps up just a hair, or gaps down, drops and reverses up, but on less volume. You fell a little bit below that line, and you fell right here. You fell a little bit below the 20-day. Could you sell a little bit more? Sure. And again, folks, don't forget, stocks don't operate in a vacuum. Hey, the market was getting sloppy here, all right? Let's advance it a day. It gaps up, it runs up, and closes down on the day on a slight pickup in volume. What does that tell us? Well, you've got a down volume bar here on a pickup in volume. You have a down volume bar here on a pickup in volume. You have a down bar here on a pickup in volume. It's a little bit above the 20-day. But you see this line right here? We have a line in the sand now. If it takes out the lows of this bar with volume, it's doing two things. It's losing the 20-day and it's taking out those lows. So we were prepared. I told the VIPs, if it takes this out, we're going to put a stop in if you want. We're not gonna get stuck here. Or you can just watch it. What's the low on this bar? The low on this bar is 24.50. And you can say, Pat, how do you know? Right here, you see where it says L? Watch when I put my cursor on this bar. It says 24.50. So we know something. We have a plan. If it loses 24.50, we're selling the rest. It's that simple. Remember, the market's acting sloppy. The price-volume relationship's gotten a little choppier, but we have rules. Taking out the lows here, and it would also at the same time be taking out the 20-day. So we'll be ready. Advance it, and look what happens. It drops down and drops hard on heavy volume. Heavy volume. You think we're the only people in the world that know about the 20-day and know about stocks taking out the lows, previous lows? It's part of what we do. And we're out of it. And guess what? I want you to think about this. If you hadn't sold any, if we hadn't sold any up here into strength, we bought right here, guess what? We rallied up and we rode this thing all the way back down. We let a 6-point profit, basically a 6-point profit, okay, turn into a loss. Turn into a loss. Right there. There you go. And that's a shame. So anyway, that's how you manage it. I wanted to share that with you. Again, I like to go through the bars slowly. Price and volume. Open, high, low, close. Every bar talks. What do we do, folks? We listen. We listen. I hope this helps you. That's why I do this, is to help. It's not just giving ideas, it's to educate you. Then you have the knowledge. When you have the knowledge, then guess what you have? You have the power. That's what we're after. So thank you very much.